Hey guys, Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. I'm actually going to be on the road for about the next 3 hours, so I won't be able to upload too much. So I'm actually going to record this one so that way I can be loading up while I'm on the road and things. Um, I wish I had a little bit more time because this is a great, great interview. Michael Irvin, the playmaker, was actually taking over for Rich Eisen for a show yesterday and had Jerry Jones on for like 18 minutes. And Jerry Jones talked about a multitude of things from Jason Garrett's contract to Zeke Elliott, Dak Prescott, Travis Frederick, philosophies of draft, you name it. So we're going to take a little piece of this. And this is Jerry Jones talking about what your offensive line does for your quarterback that you plan on making a major investment with. And let me go ahead and get to this excerpt, and we'll have a discussion about it.
In the running game, because it's real hard for those defenses to really pin their ears back and rush at the same time defend against the running game. That's challenging. And so that offensive line does two things for you. It helps your running game. It helps your protection. That's the way we've built this team, and candidly, we've seen it work. Now, we haven't seen it work to the extent that we've been in a Super Bowl, but we do know that those fronts, and plus we like our numbers, no matter how you set it up. Last year, there we were, kind of feeling like we had it kind of pinned in, and there Frederick, our center, comes down with a very unplanned syndrome that really set us back. It gave us an opportunity to see a couple of pretty good football players that played in his good stead when we didn't have him. But still, it shows you the need for depth in the offensive line, shows you the need for rotation, try to keep as fresh as you can in the defensive line.
Jerry, you talked about it. It's Jerry Jones on the Rich Eisen Show. I am guest hosting Michael Irvin here, guest host Michael Irvin. Jerry, you talked about protection and what that offensive line protects. And your offensive line, all of that investment that you have put into it is protecting Dak Prescott. When you see what quarterbacks are signing for now, with Russell Wilson just signing the biggest contract by a quarterback in NFL history, what are your thoughts to trying to lock up Dak Prescott for the long term?
Oh, I think that we're sold on Dak, and we do want to have him for the long term. We think he's worthy of investing in for the long term. He's going into his fourth year now in the NFL. When you look at the snaps he's had, when you look at the situations he's been in, when you look at, first of all, how he got here, and then you see really how he has performed, but you also, we see real upside in Dak. You don't have it all yet. And we love the way that he, I'm going to use the word logically, progresses through a game. You see him when going gets tough, or you see when he's got to come from behind, when he kind of turns it loose a little bit. You see him make those plays. All of those things embolden me to make a deal with him that puts him here with the Cowboys for the long term.
But Jerry, and this is Jerry Jones, owner of the Dallas Cowboys here on the Rich Eisen Show. I'm guest host Michael Irvin for Rich Eisen. Jerry, you said you guys are in for the long haul, and Dak is your guy. But does that mean you are willing to make Dak the new highest paid quarterback in the NFL? How have you had those conversations?
Michael, are you sitting here negotiating?
I'm just asking a question, boss. Listen, I'm sure that got those guys. That got those guys. And you know, hey, I've had enough rounds of negotiating with you. I refuse to go back in that room. I refuse to go sit through that again.
Hey, Michael came in, justifiably so, and He was representing himself for all practical purposes, but he had really some qualified people that were representing him. But frankly, nobody more qualified than Michael. So, boy, he comes in and the office, and we were negotiating his last contract that we did with the Cowboys, and he deserved a big contract. And, man, he had it all lined out there, and it was no smiles. It was going over. Well, he was sitting in the same chair and in the same office where no two men have cried together anymore and laughed together anymore than we have.
We've had some moments in them office, peaks and valleys. Peaks and valleys.
For both sides of the equation, his and mine. Well, anyway, we're sitting there, and we're going over it, and he said, Jerry, it just looks to me like here's where we ought to be. And so I look over at Michael and I say, Michael, there's an old West Texas town down there the Mexican border. It's called El Paso. El Paso. I'm not going to do it. He reaches over, grabs all those papers. They go everywhere. Grabs the one on this. All right, damn it, hand it to me. I'm signing.
Hey, there were not many jobs offering that kind of money outside of what we were doing in that office, Jerry. And I found it so funny that Jerry does a great job of lightening the mood when the most pressure is on in a negotiations, and I know that worked with me, Jerry. But how is that going to play out with Dak and his people now? You know, we're at a different time now. Quarterbacks are, just getting paid out of hand money. I think so. I think you're giving all the credit to quarterbacks. So how are you going to handle that negotiation, knowing you got Zeke coming up after that and Amari Cooper coming up after that?
Well, first of all, I've got to go down by El Paso.
On some of those offers they're gonna put in front of you.
No, seriously, I'm confident we'll get this done. Yeah. And I do not have in a proposition. There's a lot of things that go into it. Now, the money is very important. I'm a salesman. And there are 5 things that make a great salesman. One, ask for the money. I forgot the other 4.
That's what makes you a great salesman. That's what makes you a great salesman, boss. That really is, man. Jerry, let me ask about the team also, Jerry.
Okay, so Jerry Jones is not giving out his whole hands here, and I got to be honest with you, I don't know why Michael Irvin does not have his own show, because Michael Irvin he's dynamic, he's emotional, he's got that smile that lights up the room, and he's a lot of fun to watch. So, Michael Irvin or ESPN, Fox Sports, one of you guys need to have. I tell you what, Michael Irvin, if you'd like to, I'd be more than happy to have you right here on the Joe Boo Sports Report. Have your people call my people. Oh, I don't have any people. Have your people call me, and we'll get it together. But on a serious note, though, Jerry Jones, when you've seen some of the pictures of Jerry Jones, when he's looking at Dak Prescott, he looks like he's looking at a big pile of money. He's just looking like he's seeing that oil well that's just gushing all over the place. You see that there is a real respect that Jerry Jones has for Dak Prescott and what he has accomplished thus far. With that being said, you never want to pay more than you have to. And I know you hear $30 million. Oh my God. How are you going to pay a quarterback $30 million? It's just too much. But understand, in the history of football, since the salary cap has come into existence, one of the things that's been kind of interesting is about 15% is about the average percentage of money that's gone to a quarterback. About 15. Some spend a little more, some spend a little less. So when you look at the cap, which every year goes up by about $10 million, when you talk about today's dollars, it's not the same as 5 years ago when a lot of these guys signed. When Tony Romo signed his, yeah. That was more than 15% of the cap. But right now we're at about $190 million, which is about $29 million a year is quarterback. If you follow that natural curve of quarterback compensation. So when we talk about Dak Prescott get a $30 million contract, and I think it will be $30 million a year because it's got to be more than Kirk Cousins. Got to be more than him. It's got to be more than Jimmy Garoppolo. And you, as fans, want to say, no, you don't pay him that much. But understand that next year, cap's going to go up by another $10 million at least. Hell, if the Dallas Cowboys win the Super Bowl, it might go up $15 million because do you know how much more money the NFL will make if the Dallas Cowboys are at the Super Bowl? As opposed to New England versus the Rams, where nobody, and I mean nobody, showed up. If the Cowboys go to the Super Bowl, you're talking about billions of dollars that will be spent. That alone would blow up the salary cap. So getting $30 million, as much as a lot of people say your quarterback's not worth it, he's been paid chicken feed, $680,000 a year for the first 3 years and only $2 million this year. It behooves you to do this now while this cap is down at 30, because if you wait and let him go ahead and play next year and then franchise tag him, it's going to cost you that much more because the number's going to continue to go up. And that 15% is going to continue to go up, as well as all the other quarterbacks that are out there that need to be compensated. From Phillip Rivers, he's like, I'm okay playing out the last year of it. I'll be a free agent next year. You think about Carson Wentz. You think about Jared Goff. These guys are going to continue to make the money go up even higher. So that's where Jerry realizes it behooves me to get it done sooner and try and get it as team friendly as possible. All right, guys, I got to hit the road, but I, of course, will check in with you when I get to Waynesboro. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing. I'll see you soon.